Hi, I'm Jaden Sterling. In this video I'm going to share with you why you have what you have and, more importantly, how to get what you really want. So here you are represented by the number 8, and this star represents your big dream and goal. Now the challenge you have is that this star is somewhere where you've never been. You have zero frame of reference for it. It might be something that you really want to achieve, but you've never been there. It's like going to a foreign country, not knowing the language, not knowing the people, and expecting yourself to be able to navigate the situation to get around town there. That's not the easiest thing. So we have to look at why we're here, and why we're not where we want to be. Now, there's a few things that come into play here. One thing specifically are your beliefs. So many of us operate under this belief system that's not even ours. And that's common because you grew up with parents who had a certain belief and a way of looking at the world. And chances are good they gave you their recommendations for a life, right? How to live life. And they might have said something like, go to school, get a good job, work hard, save money, right? That was the formula that they were told by their parents. And that's all they knew. But we have to ask ourselves, does it really work? Have you really gotten what you truly desire in terms of your goals and dreams? Like I know, on this piece of paper is my income statement from back to 1986. So this is a 33-year-old piece of paper, probably older than some of you watching this video. And I tracked my income when I worked for corporations for other people from 18 years old until I was 31 years old. That's when I finally was able to leave the rat race and live a true life of freedom. But I noticed as I looked at my income stream here that it was important for me to make $100,000 a year. I said to myself, if I could just make $100,000, I would have no trouble. So when I was 26 years old, I made $126,966 that year at 26. And I noticed in my life that, not everything's perfect, and life isn't the way that I was hoping it would be. So I told myself my next logical point was, well, maybe $100,000 isn't the exact amount that's going to make my life amazing. Maybe it's $200,000. So at age 30, I earned that year $229,000. And I started looking at my life and I realized, no, this still isn't working. That's still not exactly what I want. Maybe the next logical step is $300,000. So at age 31, I earned $324,000 in 1999. And guess what? It still wasn't what I thought would be the ultimate. So that next year, when I was 32 years old, I earned $524,000 for that year. And that's when I had to look in the mirror and say, okay, there's got to be something more to this than just earning a whole bunch of money, because I'm not happy. This is not where I want to be in life. I don't want to be working for someone else full time. And it felt like enslavement almost. You have to show up at a certain time. You know what I'm talking about. So we need to get to the understanding of whose rule book that we're following, because this is a big, big point. Now, the other thing that I see people do that is keeping you stuck here are the actions that you take. These are things that you're doing that aren't always getting you the results that you want. I see this happening a lot. I see people doing the wrong things, chasing after the wrong things at the wrong time. So we look at our beliefs, we look at our actions, and then we have to look at the third thing that is stopping you or keeping you where you are is your lack of ability to focus. This is so critical. You know this in your own life when you're constantly pulled in different directions. You're on your phone, looking through social media, texting people. You're constantly gearing toward your energy toward that phone, and it's pulling you away from what's really important in your life to achieving your goals. Studies show that goldfish can focus for 6 seconds at a time. Humans come in at 5 seconds right now. So we're underperforming the focus level of goldfish. This is serious stuff. So the other thing that I see people doing, you might be doing in your own life, is focusing on too many different things. You've got your fingers in too many pies. I think it was Confucius who said, the man who chases 2 rabbits catches none. So it's really important to look at, where is your focus? Is it on too many things? And then how can you get your focus back to one thing in particular? Super important. So these leads to your beliefs, your actions, your focus, all leads you to what I call a comfort zone, right? We're operating within this comfort zone, and this area here becomes uncomfortable, and so does this area down here. Now, this area here, you're here when you look at your bank account and the money is slowly dwindling down. It's not where you want it to be, or you are unhappy or frustrated with your life, right? There's something going on that's causing you pain. So when we're in this state of pain, this is the fascinating thing, that it actually motivates us to take action and to do something, because we don't want to be down here. So then we start to kick into gear. We start to show up more. We start to network more. We start to reach out to people, to connect with them in order to bring opportunities for you to earn more money, or somehow, some way avoid this level of pain. So when you're in a state with your finances, it's because things aren't flowing for you. Things might feel stuck, or there's a lack of money, or maybe there's a trickle of money, but you simply don't know how to get more of it. And this is when you start to take massive action. You start to show up and do things that will ring that cash register. Maybe you start going on job interviews. Maybe you start updating your resume. Maybe you start getting serious about your finances, right? You know what I'm saying with this. So then you start doing things, and you start bringing money in, but you still hit at some point this threshold here. Now this is a different threshold. It's on the higher end, but it's as equally as uncomfortable. So here's your big goal. That's what you want to aim for. But notice your big goal is above your threshold. It's above this pain point. So let me break it down into very simplistic terms. This is for people who have a fear of success. So, things start going well, but you do something that sabotages your success, which doesn't allow you to push through here to achieve your goal. You know what I'm saying with this. Maybe you were doing well, you're clipping along, you're like, yeehaw, I'm close to my goal. I'm almost at the point where I can have enough money to quit my job, start my own business. Maybe that's your big goal. But then at this point, so you've still reached a threshold, it becomes uncomfortable, and you do things that are against your best interest. You might lose your job, you might get sick, you might loan money to someone who doesn't pay you back, you might literally lose money. So there's all these factors that get involved here, and it's all around the fear of success. It's because your subconscious mind is rooted in your belief system that says you can only achieve so much. You can only get so far. And then it becomes seemingly impossible to get out of this threshold or out of this rut. The only difference between a rut and a grave is the depth. So we want to help you move through this, right? The other thing that I see a lot down here is, I want to speak to this, is the fear of the fear of failure. Fear of failure. Now, most people have these backwards. They think, they're up here and they think, oh, I have a fear of failure. But this is how you know which one you have. Fear of failure comes if you don't start things. You know, you might have some ideas in your mind about what you want to do, but you simply don't take that first step. You can be paralyzed in fear or stuck in action, not moving forward. That, my friend, is a fear of failure. That's when you're afraid to start something. Now, fear of success is different. Fear of success, you can start things, but here's your problem. You have a fear of finishing. You're not a finisher. You don't see projects through. You would rather start something new than finish that thing that you started. You know what I'm saying with this, don't you? Right? So so you'll know your orientation. Are you afraid to start or are you afraid to finish? Right? How is this showing up in your life? Because the resolve for these two things are very different. We tackle a fear of failure, the resolve for that or the solution for that very differently than we approach a fear of success. Let's talk about how you can push past these boundaries, right? Would you like to know that? Would you like to know how the heck do I finally get out of my way past this threshold to achieve my goal? Okay, I'm going to break this down for you so it's so simple. So here's your threshold that you're operating in, right? This is you kind of living life here. This is your comfort zone. We all do it with a lot of things in our life. Here's our big goal that we want to accomplish. But we need to get past this barrier. Now, let's talk about this barrier. This barrier is in your mind. That's where it exists. So if it's in your mind, it makes sense that we need to figure out what I call a self-workaround in order to get past yourself, right? Like you got to get through this to get to the next level. So here's what they are and what I suggest that I know works. The first one is, if you're down here and you have a fear of failure, then what you do is you say, okay, you know, maybe you're thinking about, like I said, leaving your job and starting a business. But you're someone who does have this mindset around failure, or a very real fear of failure. So this is what I find that works with situations like this. When you say to yourself, you know, I want to start that thing, but boy, it's a lot of work. I don't really want to do it. And then you say in the next breath, okay, you don't have to. So just let yourself off the hook, right? Release yourself from any expectation regarding the thing that you want to be working on. But then here's the key. This is the workaround. You say, what if I were to take a step toward that goal? What could it look like? The words "what if" eliminate resistance within you. And that's all we have to do. If you have a fear of failure, we have to help you eliminate any internal resistance towards starting something. So you just say, you know, what if I did take a step toward my goal? What could it look like today? And then you identify just one step. How many? Yep, one step that you're going to take that day toward a big goal. Can you do that? Right? That's not hard, is it? Tell me in the comments section. Tell me if this is you, how you're going to ask yourself this question and what you truly want to accomplish, right? We want to hear about it. We want to support you in this community. And by the way, if you're liking this video, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up for me, will you? Thank you. The next thing is, we talk about fear of success. Now again, this person who has a fear of success, they don't have trouble starting things. They can start lots of things, but they have difficulty in finishing things. So if you're that kind of person, your workaround is very different. And what you'll need to do is hire someone. Now, this can be a friend or a coach or a mentor, someone who can hold you accountable. You need accountability, right? Accountable. You need to be accountable for showing up, for actually doing things that are going to help you move the dial toward your big goal and dream. Now, if you invoke the help of a friend, that's awesome. What you say to your friend is, hey, this is what I'm working toward. If as long as I need you to connect in with me on a daily or weekly basis, however often you need that accountability. And you simply say to them, when I hit my goal, I want to take you on a trip, or I'm going to incentivize you and give you $100, or I'm going to have your car detailed for you. Do something. There's got to be something in it for your friend if you're using that kind of approach, right? So accountability is key, being accountable. You need to look at, if you don't have a friend or if you have someone who you're wanting to work with closely, then you simply hire them and say, this is what I want to accomplish. I need your input and ideas to hold me on task. I need to focus, right? A lot of people who have fear of success are afraid to focus on one thing. I hear it all the time. You also hear it when people say, oh, I don't want to jinx myself, right? I don't want to set a goal, a solid goal, because I'll jinx myself. No, it's a bunch of garbage. You won't jinx yourself. And the second thing, or the last thing that I see people do, is they're super generous with their time and they're stingy with their money. We gotta change that formula, my friend. If you are someone who just is willy-nilly about your time, you are not headed toward your big dream and goal. You need to covet your time. You need to guard your time like, the beef eater guards that stand in front of Buckingham Palace. Aren't they called beef eaters? I think they are. These massive guys who are going to guard the gates, right? So they don't let anyone, no one is allowed to go in that gate who doesn't belong. Well, guard your time the same way. No one gets your time who doesn't belong. No one gets your time who isn't worthy and deserving. No one gets your time if they're taking you away from your focus. But I see it happen so often that with money, we're stingy with it. All right? We don't invest in our learning. We don't share it generously. We don't tip enough, or we don't tip well enough. And that's a problem, because here's the thing. This thing that we call money can come back to you over and over again. This thing that is referred to as time, gone. Once you spend it, you never get it back. So your opportunity to push past your resistance levels, again, a personal workaround. Start being super focused with your time and really on point with what you want to accomplish in your life. So time is key. How you use that time is even more important. And the other thing that can help you through these steps is your health. You gotta feel good physically, because what you're taking in, what you're eating is landing in your gut, and your gut is fueling your brain, your ability to think, your ability to tap into the last thing I want to share with you to reach your big goals and dreams is a superpower called intuition or gut feelings. This is something that so few people talk about, but if you seek out this information, it's out there. Richard Branson, the founder and CEO of Virgin, talks about the importance of following intuition. Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks, talks about the importance of intuition. Steve Jobs talked about the importance of following your intuition. This is your superpower. Now, here's the challenge. Your parents didn't tell you to follow it. School doesn't teach you to follow it. Higher education, universities don't teach you about this skill. But this is your skill that you can literally see farther than you can with your physical eyes. This is the part of you that knows all of your dreams and goals and is going to work with you to bring you the right people. It's going to allow you to know certain things that you just know. You know what I mean? Like when you met your spouse for the first time, you probably knew that chances were good that that person was for you, right? Or a friend. Let's say you have one of your best friends. You probably knew when you first met that you were meant to be friends. You just clicked, it felt right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literally losing your mind and coming to your senses. Because that's how your intuition speaks to you, is through your senses. Your hearing, seeing, feeling, touching, being able to physically touch things, knowing. That is how this superpower works. And the more you engage with this superpower, the faster you're going to be able to obliterate this threshold and get to your goal. There's going to be nothing that's going to stop you from reaching your goal when you're fully aligned with your higher superpower. So I hope this is helpful. Does this work? Absolutely. Look, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. In fact, I was born in a home for unwed mothers to give up their kids. My brother and I had a twin brother, and my mother, this is 50 years ago, wasn't married, pregnant. Her family from West Virginia told her, go to Pennsylvania, go to this home, give your kids up. And thank God for my great-grandmother, she stepped in and said, absolutely not, I'll help raise the twins. And she did. So it gave us at least a start in life. But then my father left when I was 12. I was raised by a single mom. I went to college about a year and a half. That was about it. And then I worked my way through. I set big dreams and goals. I shared with you early on my income. It has since... I've had tremendous success in my life, from retiring at 31 to building a $12.5 million business by age 36, and now stepping into my purpose, which is sharing what I know as a mentor with people who want to achieve massive goals and massive success. That is one of the easiest ways to move towards your goals and dreams, is to hire and work with someone who's already been there. They can help you shave years off your learning curve, years off the journey from where you are to where you want to go. So I hope that you've taken some of what I've said today to heart, and you'll consider doing some things that will work in your behalf to achieve tremendous goals. Look, you can have the financial freedom. It doesn't matter where you came from, doesn't matter what your background is, how you grew up, none of that matters. But there are very specific things that do matter, and that's what I'm teaching in our Ideal program. It's a high-level, sophisticated strategy program. I'm only working with 10 people this year to help you create the most incredible life that you want, and to give you very clear direction and guidance for you to reach your goals. So if you're interested, the link is in the comment section and the description box as well to the program. Click through, you have to apply for it, and then we're going through and taking applicants, and we'll be getting back to you this week. So I hope this served you. Keep rocking it in life. You just gotta there's nothing wrong with shooting for the stars, nothing wrong with that, as long as you're doing some very specific things to do a little self-workaround when you get stuck, move through some things to continue to show up, take the right steps, and live an incredible life. You can. You really can. I'm Jaden Sterling. Looking forward to working with you.